garden friends. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and I'm getting a little bit of a late start. It's almost noon, but today I thought I would tackle this one little project that has been bothering me for probably about a year. And it's not one of the 5 projects that I promised I would stick to, but I did put a disclaimer in my last video that this was something I needed to do now rather than later. So today I'm going to clean out this channel, like dig it out and get rid of the runner grass. I'll show you what I mean in a second. And then put a new liner in, put everything back and clean this up and get all the runner grass out of this section of the herb garden. So let me show you what I'm talking about and then we'll get going. So here's the herb garden, and this little drainage ditch that goes all the way to the driveway carries the water that comes off this downspout, off the gutters from these 2 sections of the house, and carries it away from the house and into the driveway. So it's a necessary piece of landscaping here, but it's slowly become invaded with grass from our lawn. Now our front lawn here is not, a golf course lawn. It is just green stuff. Pasture mix, so it's got clover and weeds and dandelions, and there's some grass, but there's also this, what I think is Johnson grass. I just call it runner grass because it has these long roots that run and burrow through pretty much anything. And so this stuff has come from the lawn and has infiltrated through this little drainage rill, and then it's in the garden. So you can see it's popping up here. It's in the chives here, and it's spreading this way. So it's headed that way, and I need to stop it before it completely invades the entire herb garden. Oh, hello, Sean. Sean's hanging out with me today. Susie's under the porch. Anyway, so there's bits of this runner grass that have infiltrated. Actually, it's gotten into the lemon balm. So yeah, I need to stop this now before it completely invades. A little bit of crocus sunshine here. Aren't these cute? And so in the process, I'm going to be digging out all of these chives. And I wanted to do it now because the chives are small. And if I try to do this when the chives are fully grown, it's just a big mess. So wanted to do this now when they're small. So these are regular chives, onion chives, and then these are garlic chives. And I've alternated onion, garlic, because the regular garlic or onion chives with the pink flowers bloom pretty early. They're one of the first things to bloom in this herb garden. The garlic chives don't bloom until much later in the summer, and they're white. So I wanted to alternate them, kind of make it a little bit interesting. And I'll do that when I put them back in. But the clumps will probably be much smaller because I'm going to have to pull out the runner grass that has worked its way into each clump and make sure that I put back in clumps that don't have the grass in them. So I think I can get this job done in one day, or part of a day, I guess. So we'll see. That'll be my challenge. To spend the what's left of the morning and into the afternoon getting this project done. So let's go. Well, I've removed all the rocks from the channel and pulled out all of the itty bitty little rocks that were in the channel, thousands of them. And so now I'm just left with a lot of dirt and the plastic liner. But you can see, here's the runner grass that is making its way through the channel. And it's actually even punctured the plastic here. Oops, punctured the plastic, growing right through the plastic that I had. And this is just like a cheap landscape plastic. So yeah, just grew right through that. And there's all this dirt probably came from debris that the gutter blew down, but also wind and rain just blowing it in from the garden and from the lawn. So there's a ton of dirt in here that needs to come out. Yeah, I stopped up here because there's nothing really growing in this section of rock, and those are bigger rocks and it's just a lot of work. So I'm gonna start from here and work my way this way, and yeah, hopefully get this done today. My next step is to go up to the barn and find a piece of pond liner from the pond project that I can use in here, and that is much thicker, heavier gauge, and hopefully will hold up much better. Won't have weeds growing through it. And also I've got some leftover edging that I'm going to put on this side of the channel, hopefully to keep the runner grass from growing in from the lawn. So yeah, so first let me get rid of this plastic, and then we'll go find some pond liner and see if that'll work. Okay, after a lunch break and frantically watering the greenhouse because I forgot how warm it is today, I'm back and actually using my phone to record this instead of my camera because my battery died in my camera. So yeah, so I got the liner in, this piece of old pond liner, threw that in, and then on the outer edge you can see the plastic edging, which is going to get smushed up against the edge of the lawn there by the big rocks that I'm about to put in. So I did a little leveling, or I guess angling, so it's higher here and lower down here. Make sure the water flows out. And yeah, I think I'm ready to start stuffing rocks back in here. I finished the rock edging. Had to bring in a few extra rocks because I needed slightly bigger rocks since this is a little bit deeper channel. If you can hear in the background some sort of like humming, rumbling, roaring, whatever, that is my husband with the log splitter. He's down behind the garden, the vegetable garden, cutting up next year's wood. So apologize for the bad audio. If the audio is bad, I don't know yet. Anyway, so I'm done with the rock border, so now I have to put all these rocks back in. But before I get them in, I'm going to give them a rinse to try to get off as much dirt as possible so I'm not reintroducing dirt into a nice clean channel here. Whew, there. All those rocks are back in. I have a little bit more to add at this end here. I'm going to grab some pea gravel that I have and add that to the bottom here. Yay. Okay, so the next step is getting in here and digging out the rest of this runner grass before I put anything else back in. So I'm going to get my spade and get digging. I'm realizing now that this will probably take me more than one day, but I don't know. It's about 4 o'clock right now, and I probably should have started this at about 8 a.m. But here we are. So I think I got all of the runner grass out. Big pile here. and I had to remove all of the chives and the catnip that was in here. Plus, I think one of the lemon balms had to go as well. So it looks like this is all clear now, I hope. So I think before I call it a night, I'm gonna try to split up some of the chives and see if I can get those back in the ground, because they've been out of the ground for a while now. So I'll see if I can do that and see how much energy I have. All right, onward. Well, I finished the chives, and yeah, both the garlic and the onion chives. I did 4 of the onion chives, and then in between them 3 bunches of the garlic chives. They're looking fairly anemic right now, but they will fill out. Within a couple of years, they'll be huge clumps. But this year, we may not get as many as I'd hoped. But fighting the runner grass in those clumps was pretty epic. See a big pile of bits here, including, plenty of this runner grass that was just embedded in those clumps. So I got out what I could in a couple of clumps, divided them up, and I think they are runner grass root free. We'll see. But for now, that part's done. I'm leaving the catnip and the lemon balm under the tarp tonight. I watered them in so they'll have some moisture for the night, but I think I'm going to call it a night. It's almost dinner time, so time for me to go in and rehydrate and come back at this first thing in the morning. So I guess technically not one day, but had I started at 8 o'clock this morning, I'd be done by now. I really think it'll only take me another hour or so to finish up what I want to finish up today. So hopefully I'll be able to take care of that first thing in the morning and check this one off of my unofficial list of non-projects that I'm not doing this year. All right, see you tomorrow. Good morning, garden friends. It's another beautiful morning, and I'm raring to go to get this project done. Yesterday, I dug out all of the chives in the herb garden, dug out the channel with the rocks, put that all back in, put the chives back in, and today I want to finish up the putting back in the catnip and the lemon balm, rearrange those a little bit. I think I have way too much catnip, so I may pull some of those out. And yeah, just maybe do a few other tidying up things to get this herb garden ready for planting. Not for a few weeks yet. It's still way too early to plant tender herbs like basil, but at least it'll be ready. And yeah, get this wrapped up hopefully before noon today, and then I can move on to other things. So yeah, let's get going. Well, I finished the project, at least this part of it anyway. The drainage rill is all done. I topped it off with some pea gravel, the same pea gravel that I have on the greenhouse pad and in the pond. We have a ton of it, and it actually works really well here, just to fill in the spaces between the other rocks that I had, make it look a little more cohesive, and cover up the little bits of liner that might be exposed. So yeah, it's looking really good. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Nice and clean, no runner grass. And then I've finished planting here in this corner. I dug out even more runner grass today when I was planting the catnip. Just seems to be everywhere. Anyway, so here are the chives. We have onion and garlic alternating. So it's onion, garlic, all the way down here, ending with onion chives there. And then I decided to narrow down the catnip, number of catnip plants. So I have 3 here. And then I moved one of the thymes that survived the winter. I have a really hard time getting difficult time getting thyme to overwinter, other than creeping thyme, and I think it's German winter thyme usually makes it through. Not sure what variety this is, but it may have been one that I bought, but it surprisingly made it through the winter, so I'm happy about that. I just replant thyme every year. I grow a bunch from seed, and then I'll buy some in that I can't get from seed. But anyway, so I relocated this to here, and then these are lemon balms. I narrowed those down to, there are 4 plants here. I took out like 3. I had a lot of lemon balm, so I narrowed that down. And then over here, there were probably about 7 catnips. I narrowed it down to 3, which opens up a lot of the bed for later herbs this year. And then while I was at it, I dug out the lemongrass and the old flat leaf parsley, raked out the mint patch, and just kind of gave everything a rake over. So this section is done. Yay! Actually, this is all ready for planting when it gets to be time to plant, which won't be for a little while. Turning to this side, however, I realized, well, I got that side all pretty. What about Sage Corner here? And this might need a little bit of a tidy up, so I'm gonna do that right now, real quick. Not spend too much time on it. Get this all tidied up as well. Susie enjoying a bit of the spring sun. Bet that feels good on her old bones. Hi, Papa. Okay, done with the quick tidy up. I pulled out all of the old curly leaf parsley, and I transplanted a lavender. This is phenomenal lavender that was stuffed in over here and looked like it got stepped on, so it's a little crooked. I pruned it back a little bit and took some cuttings. It's a lavender. And then I hacked back the oregano, 2 big sections there. I may chop out some more once I plant some more sage later on. And then I just, cleaned up everything, cleaned up all the leaves. I tried raking out the sage, but that was a mistake. So I just came in here by hand and pulled out the leaves. The regular sage, the green sage, looks like it did okay. I will wait a little bit longer to cut it back. I usually wait until I see some good healthy growth at the base. Starting to see some here. Get out of the way there. Starting to see some there. but I want to make sure it's growing healthy, healthy new growth before I cut it back. And then this is all purple, variegated and tricolor sage, and I usually have trouble getting those through the winter. It looks like some of the purple and some of the variegated sage made it through, but I'm pretty sure the tricolor sage is toast. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time and see if these sprout any new growth, and if not, just yank them out and go buy replacements at the garden center. And when I go to plant all those, I will probably hack back this oregano. The other thing I'll have to do later is straighten out that pot. It's sunk a little bit, but when I go to pot that up, I'll straighten that out. Well, that's it from the herb garden. Got this drainage drill all cleaned out, got all the runner grass, I hope, cleaned out of the herbs, and repositioned some of the herbs that I'm going to be growing this year. Gave everything a tidy up, and it's ready to go for spring. A few more weeks at least. We're only the second week of April, so it'll probably be into May before I'll put the basil out. We'll see what the weather is doing. Generally May 15th is kind of my benchmark, but you know, if the long-range forecast looks pretty good, I'll risk it. But anyway, at least I'm done and ready in this area, and I don't have to think about it anymore, and I can move on to the other things that are going on. So thank you for joining me. I do appreciate that you're here. Please come back again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.